It all started with a stormy night in 1868, England. A wicked old man, Dario Brando, finds a horse carriage crashed by the side of a mountain road. Being the wicked man he is, he goes to the crash site in hopes of looting the body of the man George Joestar presumed to be dead. Dario's wife points out that even though the lady in the carriage was dead, there still was a baby in there who was alive and healthy. But Dario gave no care to that and kept looting when he finds an evil-looking mask. I wonder what that could be. The man who was presumed to be dead seems to suddenly grab the other person's arm, and was mistaken thinking that he was an angel. Little did he know that this was going to be the biggest mistake of his life. When he finds out that his son was still alive, he swore to his family name, Joestar, that he would repay the man who just saved him and his son. Then, 12 years pass. The kid, Jonathan Joestar, aka Jojo, who was in the carriage crash, is all grown up and living in an excellent aristocratic life. On the other hand, we see Dario is all sick and endlessly coughing in a dark, poor town. He's seen with his son, Dio Brando. While Jojo was having the time of his life, Dio was salvaging whatever he could with his cunningness. While Dio was a punk in the streets, Jojo was an upright gentleman. He is so upright he even saved a doll from being undressed by some screw-loose kids. Come on, Jojo, why you gotta ruin the fun? We all wanted to do that at least once. Only me? Anyway, Jojo saves the doll and steals the heart of the doll's owner, Irina. While Jojo was playing hero, Dario was in his deathbed and told Dio about how the Joestars owed him. And after Dario's death, Dio heads off to the Joestars and starts the epic tale. The first time Jojo meets Dio, Dio leaves an impression. He not only ravishly jumps off the carriage, but also kicks Danny, Jojo's pet dog, in the face. This is just the start of the pain and suffering that Jojo would face due to Dio. In George's eyes, Dio is the perfect child, due to his manners and brilliance. But to Jojo, Dio is a poison, who not only took his father's love, but also defamed him in the entire town. This was Dio's plan all along, so he could break Jojo, but that was not gonna happen because Irina was the straw hat that helped Jojo survive in this pain-filled life, but Dio was not gonna let it slide. This 12-year-old piece of tard was so cunning that he stole Irina's first kiss just to prove that he was superior to Jojo. This agitated Jojo and he humiliated Dio. To recover from this humiliation, Dio did the unthinkable. He killed Danny. Seriously, what the Dio? Yeah, this kid's got some issues. 7 years pass by. Jojo and Dio are now the perfect duo, at least in the public eyes. Jojo still has the bad memories from 7 years back, but still wants to accept Dio as his brother. On the contrary, this friendliness was just a facade for Dio to gain the Joestar's trust. George Joestar is now a sick man, but Jojo presumes it was not natural. Still, he keeps on researching the evil-looking stone mask that belonged to his mother. He is the only one who knows its secret reaction to the touch of blood. While researching the mask, Jojo finds the letter that Dio was left with before Dario's death. He learns about the evil in Dio's heart. He finds out that Dio has been poisoning his father, and with this knowledge, he goes to the city in hopes of finding the antidote. In his search, he ends up in the street that Dio grew up in, the Ogre Street. Dio was sure that Jojo would perish in the Ogre Streets before he found the antidote. Still, he went to check for himself, and he also brought the stone mask with him. While in his search, Dio finds out the secret of the mask. It is the mask that its wearer becomes a vampire, who dies in the sun. With this knowledge, he returns to the Joestars only to find Jojo, who has already found the antidote. Seeing no escape, Dio decides to make use of the mask, but his scheme fails due to Speedwagon, one of the respectable Ogre Street residents. Dio is cornered and ends up using the mask on himself. As for the blood to activate the mask, he kills George Joestar. The police shot at him, everyone assumed he was dead. But all is surprised when Dio rises back up, stronger and faster than ever. Still, Jojo manages to beat him at the expense of everyone but Speedwagon. Jojo survived all due to Irina's nursing, and thus Speedwagon took his exit. As Jojo was recovering, he was still suffering from his broken arm. But then, Baron Zeppeli arrived and knocked the air out of him. Though at first it seemed like he was an enemy, that was far from the truth. He healed Jojo's arm with some magic. Baron informs Jojo about this magic called Ripple Energy. But most of all, he claims that Dio was still alive, and is in possession of the stone mask. He tells Jojo that the only way to save humankind is by destroying the stone mask. Thus, Jojo starts learning the art of ripple energy from Baron. All the while Jojo was learning, Dio was making an army to take over the world. Baron tells Jojo about the story of the stone mask, and how cursed that object is. Seeing the gravity of the issue, Jojo is more than determined to fight Dio and sets off on a journey to defeat him. But defeating Dio was never an easy task. On his journey, he faced Jack the Ripper. This Ripper was no normal human, but a zombie soldier of Dio. Still, Jojo managed to take this crisis and turn it into nourishment. And he did all that without spilling a single drop of wine. Yep, the mighty power of wine helped him learn faster. After proving he's the protagonist with such ludicrous plot armor, Jojo and the gang arrive at the village where sightings of Dio occurred. While sightseeing, their belongings get stolen by a kid. Yep, a scrawny little kid successfully steals from 3 huge mountain-like dudes. Anywho, the gang follows the kid to recover their stuff, only to find that the sun has already set. In such a state, they find themselves in the middle of a graveyard. As nighttime has started, Dio is free to roam around. He appears in front of the group and commands the zombies to have their fill. Seeing Dio fully recovered, Baron realizes that he had taken many innocent lives, and gets agitated. With his heart full of righteousness, he plunges at Dio and uses Ripple Punch, but Dio evaporates all the blood in his arm, which blocks the ripple and causes Baron's arm to freeze instantly. Yeah, this is Jojo logic, so don't ask how. Causing his veins to burst. When Dio was trying to land another punch, Jojo intervenes. Seeing Jojo all grown up, Dio laughs like the maniac he is, and commands his Elizabethan-era zombie gladiators to entertain Jojo. While Jojo faced the 2 gladiators, Baron was regretting not being able to help due to his damaged arm. If only he could let his blood flow into veins, he would have been able to heal himself. This is where Speedwagon comes to the rescue. He takes Baron's arm and embraces it with his bare abdomen. But even before Baron could help Jojo, the almighty plot armor pushed Jojo to the limit, so much so that he mastered the art of Ripple that he had just learned a few hours back. He defeats the stronger among the 2, Bruford, with ease, but the larger one among the 2 still remains. The second gladiator, Tarkus, destroys the cliff with a single hit. But the plot armor was not gone yet. It was because of this that they used the ripple energy to gather fallen leaves to use as a glider, and escaped. While in flight, Baron explains the origin of ripple energy. The peace was not for long, because they end up facing Tarkus. Jojo ends up in a deathmatch with Tarkus. All seems lost, but Baron proves his worth. He sacrifices his life and gives all of his energy to Jojo. This powers up Jojo to the extreme, and he finally beats the life out of zombie Tarkus. With heavy hearts, the group walks towards Dio's castle. On their way there, 3 new companions join them. They are the master and pupil who trained with Baron. Hearing about their companion's death, they wish to get their revenge. With renewed resolve, they charge into Dio's castle. After intense fighting filled with illogical actions, Jojo finally defeats Dio. Or does he? After being punched, Dio's body fell off, and took it for its face value. That is because, while falling, Dio sliced off his head. This prevents the ripple energy to spread and lets him live. With the world at peace, Jojo finally marries Irina, and are off to America on a trip. But evil still lurks in the shadows. While in a sweet dinner with Irina, Jojo sees the Asian Oriental, a subordinate of Dio. He follows the man to the ship's engine room only to find the bodiless head of Dio. Dio now dreams of having Jojo's body, for he respects him. He wants to have the pinnacle. But Jojo has a different thought. He makes it so that the ship they were on is destroyed. When all seems lost, Irina pleads to stay alongside her husband. Fate was cruel and the ship exploded. Despite this, Irina lived. It was all thanks to Dio, for he had a coffin within the ship that could even withstand dynamite. As the ship sank, Irina in her coffin floated and was rescued. One might think the Joestars were good for dead, but that can't be further from the truth. That's because within Irina, the love of Jonathan Joestar lives on. And that's the end of the video. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel, and see you at the next one.